It was official today. The Erik Ten Hag, the new manager.
Yeah, it's absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
Probably the first football move that Manchester United has done in the last 10 years. Right? I mean,
good, yeah.
if it was up to Ed Woodward and the Glazers, we'd be talking about Pochettino today.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you like the signing then? It sounds like you do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah?
I was high on Ten Hag, saying we should get him since November.
He's got screenshots of these conversations too.
Do you really? You brought him with you and everything? just for
I
proof?
always keep the receipts.
This is true. This guy's got
That's
receipts
good.
for days.
I gotta be careful with you, man. I gotta watch out for you. No, but I like it too. I think like you said, it's the first football move that they've made in like a decade now.
Yeah, I mean, going back to when
Ronaldo wasn't a move.
Going back to when Fergie was there, dude. Like, would you ever think in 2013 that we wouldn't win a title in the next 10 years? If somebody told you in 2013 we wouldn't win a title, that you wouldn't believe it.
Right.
You know, Fergie left and we had Moyes for 9 months and then Van Gaal, Mourinho, they won titles, but Ole, kind of expectations dropped.
That's I feel like that still was a weird signing. Like, I mean, for him to come in, because remember he was an interim when he came in,
Right.
and then I guess he just, like you said, exceeded expectations, which was enough for them to say, okay, you're the official manager.
Right.
That was weird, right?
Right. And then, I mean, his signings, he was trying to build a team on counterattacking football.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of not the way, the modern game is played.
Right.
And just didn't work out. And I think it was time for him to go when he got sacked. And I think it was a great move to bring in Ralph Rangnick, knowing all his football expertise. And we haven't gotten the results that we've wanted, but he has brought a lot of light to the problems that are there, the core problems.
What do you think? What do you think are some of the core problems?
It definitely starts up at the top.
Yeah.
Having Ed Woodward there for as long as he was there, he's not a football guy.
He was. Well, I remember he was like an accountant,
He
right?
was an investment
yeah.
banker. He worked for J.P. Morgan. So when the Glazers bought the club, he was brought in to help recoup their debt.
Yeah.
And he did for them. But
that's what I was going to ask you. Over the past 10 years, what do you think was the biggest downfall for United? Like, what do you think caused such a huge slope after Ferguson left?
Fergie had all the authority for signings, recruitment, all the tactics. He was the guy in charge. Once he left, it was put up to these guys that had no clue or any idea of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And you bring in somebody like Pep Guardiola, who's kind of changed football, the way that it's played. You bring in Jurgen Klopp, even now Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
These guys are tacticians, right?
Yeah.
Where's Manchester? Like, they don't have an identity.
Yeah.
They bring in players for commercial value.
Yeah.
Pogba, Sanchez, Falcao, Di Maria, you know what I mean? It was to sell jerseys.
Yeah, those are bad.
Ibra, you know what I mean? Like, those aren't the right signings.
Yeah.
And now, hopefully, with Ragnick being a consultant, Ten Hag, what he's done with Ajax has been amazing. And then, hopefully, they're talking, rumors are Paul Mitchell will come in as head of recruitment, where he was at Tottenham. He's the one who discovered, like, Dele Alli, Sonny, Toby Alderwood, and he's done a pretty good job at AS Monaco now. So hopefully, those three guys could turn the tide.
So does Ten Hag get like full reign? Whatever he wants goes?
That was the next thing I was going to get into. Is just, okay, yeah, we've had good managers come in. Like, Mourinho was a good manager, and he's still doing good things. I mean, it didn't work out for him over at Tottenham, but then he went to Roma and started turning that club around. Do you think the front office is going to get in the way of Ten Hag once he comes in? Because remember, there was the signing for two summers ago with Donny van der Beek. And when Ollie didn't want to sign him at all, and then the front office were like, "You're signing him anyway."
And that's Ed Woodward. That was what he was doing. It was the fans are upset, and that's kind of what the Glazers have been known to do the last few years is the fans get upset. You know, they're calling for the Glazers to sell the club, and it's like, oh, let's just sign somebody so you guys could be happy.
It's like hush money.
Right. You know, here, you know, be quiet.
Yeah. Here's your toy.
So, and honestly, we're talking about Donnie. He's probably the one person that's excited Ten Hag got signed today.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
Because when he was with Ajax, I mean, Donnie was outstanding player.
Yeah.
So I think if Ten Hag does get more authority than what Ole did, with a combination of Ragnick, and if they bring in Paul Mitchell, I think the three of those guys together, they can definitely turn the club around.
So yeah, you like the appointment of Ten Hag, which I do too. I think that's the right appointment at the time. I mean, he doesn't come in with super high expectations because the thing is he's coming in not necessarily a Pep or a Klopp or a Tuchel. I mean, he's coming into a situation where he's got to pretty much build from the bottom up, which, I mean, he kind of did when he first got the job over at Ajax, because before that, Ajax hadn't won a title in like 4 or 5 years, something like that. Right. And then he turns it around and wins 6 in a row.
Yeah.
So if he can come in and kind of just at the very least give him an identity, he can turn things around. But is there any other manager out there that you would have said, I think he would have been good too? Like, is there anybody outside of Ten Hag?
It would have been Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel?
And the situation with Chelsea, you know, not having an owner.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think if they were monitoring him and his situation, it would have definitely been that guy. Lopetegui, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not Pochettino.
Not Pochettino.
I'm not a fan of Pochettino.
Why not?
And the difference,
I would have liked it.
Right. The difference between Ten Hag and Pochettino, Ten Hag obviously hit the league in the Netherlands is not a big league.
Yeah.
But his legacy, his career is not tainted, like Pochettino. He's had a Premier League experience. He's bottled it. You know, Tottenham, they didn't win anything. Even at PSG, you can see that he can't manage these big name stars.
Yeah.
You know, they're out again in the Champions League. Like, he's known as a bottle merchant.
Yeah.
Pochettino, he can't win. He's not a winner.
But do you think with, because I do agree that Pochettino, he wouldn't be the right guy. He's, like you said, he's not a winner. But the development that he did over at Tottenham, because he did over essentially to do the same thing over there, which kind of bringing the guys from the bottom up, guys like Dele Alli, Kane, Song, and then there's other guys too that go into that. Do you think though that maybe the clubs have kind of handcuffed Pochettino because Tottenham, there was a couple of transfer windows where they're like, well, you're not buying anybody because we don't have the funds to do it. And over at PSG, there's other people making bigger decisions over PSG because PSG, I mean, at this point, it's not really a football club. It's like you said, it's a commercial club. It's a brand at the end of the day, right? It's just at the end of the day is trying to bring in as much money as possible.
If you can't win with that PSG team, then you're not a good coach.
No.
That team is so stacked, dude. They're so good across the board everywhere in every position. They have above average players.
If you look at that PSG side and the signings that they've made, the money that they've spent, it hasn't been on transfers. How many transfers did they get for free? Under Herrera,
that's true.
Messi, right? Like Icardi, right?
Yeah.
Free transfers.
Icardi was a free transfer.
There's
Ramos.
about 6 or 7 free transfers there.
The biggest one was just Neymar and Mbappe right after him.
So you look at those guys and that team and the amount of money that PSG spends, their wages are high, but they're superstar players. All the people that you named at Tottenham were the people that Paul Mitchell found.
Yeah.
And so if Manchester United could bring in Paul Mitchell as head of recruitment, we're in business. You know, they'll find these players. Now, did you know that these recruiters that just stepped away yesterday? They had 800 scouting reports on right backs, and we were left with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's the problem. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and the players also have to perform. You know what I mean. You're playing for the badge. I mean, we're going to talk about Tuesday's game. That's
that's the next question I want to get into, because when you look at that squad, there's just about I mean, you can argue that you can revamp the entire squad, and you can make an argument that every single player has got to go, right? But who are like the 4 or 5 players that you think absolutely like need to stay?
David Gea needs to stay.
Yeah. That's an easy one.
Cristiano Ronaldo, 21 goals. He has to stay.
It's interesting that you think Ronaldo needs to stay.
He's not the problem. I don't.
I don't think he's a problem, but do you think he fits what Ten Hag is trying to do?
When you have somebody who scores 21 Premier League goals, you keep him. You don't get rid of him.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo, Sancho, I think has been good.
He's had some glimpses here and there. Yeah.
Bruno can probably do better under Ten Hag because he hasn't really had coaching. He's had Ole, who's not a tactician, you know. Mike Phelan and Michael Carrick were the ones doing all the tactics under Ole. Ralph is just an interim manager. He's tried, but if you get somebody like a tactician like Ten Hag, I think Bruno will be okay. And that's probably it. You know.
No Rashford?
Rashford's tough.
That one's a tough one.
Rashford's my boy. Like, I'm a huge Rashford fan. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yeah.
I think he's a Mancunian. You know, he's born there. He's academy player.
What about Rafael Varane? Do you think
Rafa stays?
You think he should stay?
I think Rafa stays. Lindelof.
You want Lindelof to stay?
I would keep Lindelof.
Lindelof over Maguire?
Yeah, Maguire.
That's. I just wanted you to get to Maguire. I just want you to tell me.
You just love talking shit about Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
Dude, Harry Maguire is starting to become my favorite player in the Premier League. Only because he's not on the Chelsea. Yeah. If he was on Chelsea, I'd hate him just as much as you guys do.
Yeah,
but it's hilarious to watch.
Harry Maguire, he's not it. Like he's not a captain.
I agree.
Is he even a top? Is he even a top league player?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, but I mean, top league player. I mean, because you have teams like City and Liverpool who kind of just
I'm just talking
they're
about
22 between them will take up the top 22 in the league.
Yeah,
you know.
And in what side does Harry Maguire, not playing for Manchester United, what starting 11 does he get into?
In like outside the top 6
in the Premier League.
Oh, in the Premier League in general. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
There's some teams that he would. I mean, definitely the bottom half of the league. Out of the top 6, out of the big 6 clubs, I'm thinking maybe Tottenham.
No.
Outside of them, I don't think. City, he won't break the squad. Chelsea, he won't. Liverpool, he won't.
I don't even know if he starts for Arsenal.
That's what I was. That's the next one I was going to say.
Ham.
Arsenal, because I mean they have Ben White there. West Ham, I don't know. I think the bottom half of the league would definitely like to have him because I mean he did still play well at Leicester. I mean because he's.
But that was 2015.
Yeah, I mean I'm not saying that he's like
not
saying he's like a top tier center back, but he's still a solid player. I mean he's still. The thing is I think they give him a lot of the blame, especially at United, given the system that they're playing with, and then the way that Ralph Rangnick likes to. Because I mean, how are you going to play with a high line with a guy like Harry Maguire?
Right. So, I think Manchester's ranked on like 4th or 5th highest line in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also zero protection in front of him. If you think about all the Liverpool has Firmino or Thiago. The City has Gundogan. They all have holding midfielders in front of them that protect them. Who does Manchester United have?
Yeah,
Fred?
McFred. Yeah.
McTominay? Yeah, it's just that's also. I think also that has a lot to do with it. I think Harry Maguire. Yeah, he did have a terrible year, but I mean, who on Manchester United's defense didn't? Right?
Yeah. Anywhere across the back line.
Yeah, exactly. They all play. I mean, even Luke Shaw, who was the player of the year, 2 seasons ago, he's had a bad year. Even he looks like he's a scrub that doesn't even belong in the Premier League too. So Maguire, I feel like Maguire can stay because I mean, at the end of the day, they still need a squad. They still need some type of experience, especially in the back. And if him and Varane can get on the same page, the thing is that we haven't even seen them play together all that much.
I think Maguire and Varane are kind of the same type of player, where they're very passive. Varane had a lot of success with Real Madrid because Sergio Ramos was that dog.
Yeah,
he had like that dog mentality, and Varane was kind of like, I'll just kind of clean everything up, stay in my position.
So it's like they're playing with two last mans and no stopper.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, who has that dog mentality right now out of those center backs, out of Lindelof and Phil Jones? Like
Eric Bailly. But
he never got his chance.
No, he's just made out of glass.
And then he's always hurt.
He's always hurt. I think Bailly is probably the best center back that we have on the roster, by far.
You think so? Even better than Varane?
By far, Eric Bailly is the best center back on the roster. He just can't stay fit. He's always hurt.
Would you guys be satisfied with Antonio Rudiger?
I'd want Rudiger. I'd sign him in.
I'd sign Rudiger. When he talks about that dog mentality, I mean Rudiger has that dog mentality.
Chelsea's really screwed right now with all their limitations.
Yeah,
losing Rudiger.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into you a little bit later. But okay, so your 5 players. Who'd you pick? You picked De Gea.
I'd keep
Ronaldo.
I'd keep
Lindelof.
I'd keep Bruno.
And
Sancho.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. The thing with Rashford, dude, is like I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, do you let him go and then because I mean everybody at Man U had a down season. There's not one player where like you can pick out and say, oh, they were great, other than De Gea. But even De Gea started off slow this year. I do agree that we keep De Gea, Rafael. Ronaldo, I don't know, man. The thing is, too, is I don't know even if they were to let Ronaldo go, where would he go? PSG.
But what striker do we have?
That's where I think
Mason Greenwood's in prison.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what's the status of Mason Greenwood?
I think he's out. I think
he's about done. I think Mason Greenwood's about done.
I think he's out of jail, but he's not part of the club.
You want to give everybody a backstory what happened to Mason Greenwood, or you don't want to touch that?
Don't hit your girlfriend.
Yeah, dude, that sucked, dude, and especially there was videos and overall toxic relationship with that dude. Yeah. It's just insane. So, and to be so young too.
Yeah, I mean, I was very high on Mason Greenwood, saying he's the number 9. He's the next Ronaldo.
Ollie said he was the best finisher on the team.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's just unfortunate his situation, and he kind of left the club at, with him. Maybe he brings another 15, 20 goals.
Another one, yeah.
This season, maybe we're, that's another 10 points maybe. Yeah. We're already in 4th place.
Or that's where Erik Ten Hag comes in, and he makes Rashford an out-and-out striker, because that's how he started his career at Man U, right? He was a striker, and then they moved him out to the wing.
He was always a left winger. And then... he would play through the middle when he needed to, but if you watch Rashford play through the middle, he always drifts out to the left.
He always ends up going out wide.
That's where he feels the most comfortable.
Interesting. I mean, I do see Ronaldo staying for at least another year, kind of just to see this contract out, because I don't think anybody else is going to want to sign him. Maybe PSG if they end up losing Mbappe. But then I also don't see that happening this year. I think Mbappe stays for another year at least. I do think that Bruno Fernandes should stay. Sancho should stay. I do agree with that. Oh man, it's just like that club needs a whole revamp.
Well, look at all the players that are already gone. The ones that are out of contract, right? Pogba's gone.
Yeah.
Juan Mata's gone.
Cavani's out.
Matic is already out.
Matic is out.
So that's 4. Phil Jones is out of contract.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
I feel like he's been on that contract forever, man.
So 5 of those guys, maybe you Jesse Lingard, that's 6, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jesse Lingard's out of contract.
So is he still on loan? He's on loan, right?
No, he's back.
Anthony Martial's on loan, but he's
on loan.
Contract.
He's out of contract too.
He'll be out of contract. So that's 7 players gone, right? How many guys are we really going to sell? We're cutting all this dead wood. How many